As I normally say, let's normalize talking issues. The cannibalistic, that is the Kenyatta family, headed by none other than Uhuru Kenyatta himself. That butcher of Atondo. The moment you realize how deep a mess Uhuru najua alituchimbia, you'll understand that they are operating with the globalist and Ruto in the same picture. So until you understand what Uhuru Kenyatta stands for in terms of major corruption scandals in this country for the past decade, for that reason, amekuwaga the worst thing that Kenya will ever think of. You talk about the Pandora paper, you talk about the Eurobond, you talk about losing 2 billion Kenya shillings a day. That is approximately 6.5 trillion in his presidency. You go to the Epstein files, the Jeffrey Epstein files, zinamguza pia zinakuonesha what a monster he is. And imagine how many children, mostly orphans and street children, even in the country, how whatever they go through, being sacrificed by those satanic forces. You can just imagine how a rotten society we have if Uhuru Kenyatta can still survive in our politics 21st century. I think Kenyans are out of this mind, and I think that's why you ended up voting Ruto in, because if Uhuru Kenyatta is as filthy, smelly as he looks, like each and every other scandal was talking about trillions, and you end up looking at our debt yenye yeye mwenyewe alichukua tu personally, ending up to doing nothing, was about 7 point something trillion. So imagine how deep rooted the Kenyatta family is cannibalistic unto our society. Go to the milk processing. What do they do to those milks? Are they okay for human consumption? If these people can do whatever they are doing with our economy, what do you think when it comes to creating food for consumption? Uhuru Kenyatta is the one who brought in the Akina Bill Gates and the WHO, those bodies that come to experiment with our children and our health. Practically he auctioned our health for free in exchange of couple of dollars and a couple of billions of dollars and a couple of mali yake kufichwa wherever ameficha huko. The Pandora paper can tell you how many offshore accounts he have, how many offshore companies he have. Like, imagine what cannibalistic type of a family the Kenyatta family looks like. That's when you realize what a deeper mess we are in. Okay, Uhuru Kenyatta is the godfather to William Ruto. So imagine kama predecessor wake the Kasongo, the butcher of Sugoi, anafanya Kenya anafanya. Now imagine what Kenyatta was capable of doing. Remember, this is when the Kenjogoma brothers died. 100 plus bodies being recovered in Rivayala. We're talking about many bodies being recovered in forests around this country. Imagine how pedophilic, how a murderer Uhuru Kenyatta as a person is. You can just sit down and assume that things are okay. You can sit down and assume that we've been overreacting, but reality is this is the most cannibalistic family Kenya will ever imagine of having. From the father himself, who stole from us land from here to the end of Kenya. It is claimed that he has combined the whole land that he stole from us can reach to almost a whole province. We're talking about a province. If you can remember, 8 provinces in Kenya. That's where we started before we came into the county governments. Nowadays that are 47. Imagine the 8 provinces. Akona shamba inatushana na one good province yenye anaweza kakalia. And most of that land was grabbed from independence to date. Just imagine the cannibalistic of what the Kenyatta family looks like. Mumbi Seraki speaks of how the mother is what occult she's in, the witches she does to young children of girls' gender, you know. And you imagine if Uhuru Kenyatta is already mentioned in the Jeffrey Epstein files, how deep this cannibalistic family is and how bad it is ready to give us to the colonialists, to the globalists, for them to destroy this country, for them just to live lavishly. And until we realize that all this cooked opposition, cooked sijui former president, cooked sijui former minister, cooked sijui current minister, cooked sijui current president, trust you me, you'll just abolish this whole system and jail and, you know, nyonga all of them, because these guys are real cannibalistics. They can eat literally everything. They are vultures. Wanaweza wakula kila kitu, including our children, our babies, anything that can just make money to them. They'll turn it into that. You remember the NHIF scandal? It was there in his administration. There was the land scandal. You remember? $1 billion worth of a land somewhere in Ruaraka. Unajua, like, what a cannibalistic family this Kenyatta thing is. And you're still here thinking of how to go to an election. We're not supposed to be thinking of an election. You're supposed to be thinking of a revolution. And a revolution is for us to burn them down, to burn those all altars down, and to bring in sanity into our system, to understand that even those children who are on the streets deserve a better, equal society that will protect them, not abuse them. Because imagine how many disappeared in the Epstein files. You remember Najib Balala akitupatia story ya Naomi Campbell. Yeah, you remember Naomi Campbell now. You can easily connect the dots. And then kidogo ametoka na ka bill sijui we are legalizing watoi kwa adapted in Kenya, no more that. And in reality, Epstein Jeffrey was just roaming around freely. Angalia wase kama kina Bill Gates maze, what they have turned our country into, our health system. It is one of the most dangerous places to be sick in Kenya. Like, you automatically become a lab rat. Immediately you become sick, you become a lab rat. Now imagine how bad our systems look because of that cannibalistic family called the Kenyatta family. If we can consolidate the truth, back up everything, you'll understand that Kenyatta is not there to help you. He's just another thug, another murderer, another worst of the worst, like the butcher of Sugoi is. Okay? Both are just puppets of their masters, and their masters are none other than the US and the British government, which will always be here to always make us be suppressed, because we are not an independent country according to them. We are still a British corporation that they benefit on a daily basis. They take our minerals in the name of batuk, in the name of salt, you know, and diatomite, and then they end up stealing more from us, moving to even kill us in the name of Al-Shabaab and other militias, killing the North in the name of cattle wrestling. Yet it's only minerals that they are stealing from us. We need to do away with this cannibalistic Kenyatta family and the entire political fraternity. It's time for us to reshape Kenya. Kenya is bigger than all of us. We need a future for ourselves, our children, and the entire embetterment of a country that is supposed to be standing by truth, justice, and nothing else. Justice should prevail. Ruto must go. Ruto must go.